it's not just Columbia University. Protests are taking place across college campuses coast to coast. For more, let me bring in Heidi Yazdani. She's a student at New York University, where she's a junior studying psychology. Heidi, thanks for being on the program. So what is the mood like at NYU, where you go to school?
It's pretty tense. They put a barricade on the plaza in front of the Stern building, which is the business school, but it also holds classes from other universities within NYU. And to get in, you would have to go through the back entrance and show your ID, where the security guard would let you in through the fence. The protests have moved from the buildings to the park right by the university. So it's still very tense, and some people aren't going to class to protest, and some people aren't showing up to campus as a way to protest as well.
I know you've taken part in some of these protests. Can you go to protests and go to class?
You can, but to make a point, a lot of people aren't going to classes and just sending an email to their professors that in protest for what's going on and for our freedom of speech being held by the president.
What do you say to critics, many of them Jewish students, who say some of these protests have turned anti-Semitic and they're worried about their safety?
I know there are a lot of emotions surrounding this issue, but the intent is not to make any Jewish students feel uncomfortable. The protesters are standing up for humanity as innocent children and adults are being killed. So that's what the protesters are against.
How long do you think NYU students are going to keep this going? And do you think there are those who are capitalizing on these protests who are not students, but they're causing chaos on campuses across the U.S.?
I haven't seen anyone who isn't a student take part in these protests, and I think it will go on for as long as it takes for these demands to be acknowledged by the university.
So what are the demands, Heidi?
Essentially, the protesters want NYU to fully disclose and divest its finances and endowment from weapons manufacturers and companies with interests in the Israeli occupation. They also want to sever ties with the Tel Aviv University site and down its campus, remove the NYPD's standing presence from NYU, and protect free speech on campus.
And do you think this message, I know it certainly sends a message what students are doing, but do you think at the end of the day, it will truly make a difference?
I hope so. I think if we keep at it, then hopefully the NYU professors and presidents will see how big of a deal this is.
And Heidi, finally, are there any professors at NYU who are also taking part in these protests?
There are. Today, I was in a building just doing some work, and one of the professors handed me a letter from the AAUP that defended the students that were arrested, including one who was just taking photos of the violence occurring by the NYPD.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Heidi Yazdani, thank you so much.
Thank you.